Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcast network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod. Chris, I need an old man take from you today, bud.
Well, Jimmy, let me tell you something about what I believe in. I believe in doing things the right way.
Okay.
I believe in doing things the Drew McIntyre way.
I'm sure you do. You love Drew McIntyre. He is let's be honest, he's the facest face of all baby faces ever. Rod, what are you hot about today? Excuse me, Roddy the Dragon Steamboat. What are you hot about today?
Oh, Jimmy, there's nothing else I could say than come on here and throw all the flowers at the feet of my guy. All right. I've been hard on him for a while. I haven't been number one fanboy on this podcast. Seth, I apologize. You came out last night and you friggin' dropped the promo of the year 2024, setting up storyline, giving away backstory, dropping zingers, holding the crowd in the palm of his hands. Jimmy, we even got some what chants during the press conference on Thursday. You could have heard a pin drop last night when Seth Rollins was talking. Shout out to my guy, man. Such a huge star.
You got some what chance when Triple H was talking on Friday. So I think what we need to start with is the story of the week, really, and that is we are on the road to WrestleMania. We are going to have a double main event where on night one, it looks like it's Cody and it's Seth against The Rock and Roman. That's going to happen. I don't care if you like it or not. That's what's going to happen. And then night two, you're going to have the Cody and Roman. I like it a lot because I'm assuming some way, shape, or form, Cody's going to get hurt or be injured on night one and have to overcome some stuff on night two. So I like that. I think it gives the crowd going to one or the other or both. It gives them both a huge main event, Rod, and I'm excited about that.
You know what else I think it does too is practically, right? We got a guy in The Rock who hasn't been working a lot, right? And we're going to have another guy in Seth Rollins who's going to be coming back from an injury. So if we put him in a tag match, those two guys can be shielded a little bit. And it also...
you said shield.
And it also will then hopefully give a little bit of juice to Cody and Roman for those few spots that The Rock and Seth can do to give those guys some juice to still be able to bring a big main event the next night. Now, we've been calling for people to wrestle on both nights of WrestleMania ever since they came up with 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Sure.
Chris, do you think this year we're going to actually get it? Because I don't, but I love what Jimmy's feeding us.
If we see that tag match on night one, won't we then have to see 2 different wrestlers go on 2 nights at WrestleMania because someone's winning an Elimination Chamber and someone's going to be challenging for a belt, correct?
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, so it would yes, that is correct.
So if we've never seen one do it, why would we see 2 do it now?
Because Seth Rollins is the architect. He is the best in the world at what he does. Yeah, you're right. And I did forget to mention that, but I think that's going to happen because who else? I think there's got to be a tag team, and I think it's got to be those because literally the only other person in the world that would make sense to be Cody's partner is a contracted AEW wrestler right now. So that's not going to happen. So it really does need to be Seth and Cody. And then that gives whomever beats Seth maybe a heel. I don't know, beating Seth. Gives him even more heat because he takes Seth out when he's hurt.
We got to have a heel after Rollins, right? I mean, we got it. We just can't. There can't be another baby face that beats Rollins. There's got to be some sort of a heel, right? There has to be. So I like your thought there that we could see a villain. It's how sad is it for the WWE's tag team division that to get some heat for the tag team match at WrestleMania, we got to pull a guy who only wrestles 12 times a year and a guy out of retirement, basically, to gin up any kind of action for a tag match, Jimmy.
How dare you? We've had some great tag matches here recently. And Chris, I know you don't even acknowledge.
A secret shot at your guys right there, Jimmy. A secret shot at your guys I was just doing there.
Hey, they're in an angle with one of the hottest groups in the company. So you watch yourself. You watch yourself right there. Let's move over to this Elimination Chamber, though, with I don't know if your boy's going to get the win, Chris. I think if Drew McIntyre wins the Elimination Chamber, he's re-signed with the company. If he doesn't, he hasn't, and he's going to go get Sami Zayn at WrestleMania and lose.
I'm going to be honest. I want LA Knight to win Elimination Chamber because
I love that about you. I love you are that you are a fan first and you want to see what you want to see, even though the storylines and stuff may not add up, and it really does point. But I do like that. So why do you want to see LA Knight? Which, by the way, got to win. I didn't think that was going to happen from what happened on SmackDown, but he got a clean win, a good win against Ivar.
Yeah, and did you guys not hear the pop that he got when his music hit?
Yep.
That was the second loudest pop of the night, okay? Give Rollins his flowers, but the crowd reacted the most to LA Knight after Rollins.
Wait a minute. Cody Rhodes still appeared
Cody
on Monday Night Raw, Chris.
Cody Rhodes was on Raw as well.
Yeah, I think the LA Knight pop was louder than Rhodes.
Okay.
I love that you think that.
Zoe Stark was also on Raw, Chris.
It's not a lie, Chris, if you believe it, right? George Costanza
true.
told us that.
That is true. So why LA Knight besides the pop?
I mean, listen, we kind of knew, unfortunately, that he wasn't going to beat Roman at any point in time, right?
No question.
But this other title is for somebody more like him. If it's supposed to be more of a second tier to the title that Roman has, his heavyweight title, let him get his title there. Let him have a reign. He needs a belt. He has proven that he deserves a belt, to that matter. So give him a belt. This is a chance to give it to him.
See, this is so 2024, Jim. You just have toxic takes that just get thrown out there and people just platform them and then other people pick them up as real. Chris is just throwing out secondary titles that this is the thing we're all supposed to take. I don't like this. This is garbage.
Your boy literally said it's the number 2 title, Rod. Your boy,
he didn't.
Roman.
I don't think he's ever said anything.
Oh, no. His boy's not Roman. His boy Roman.
Yes. Has he not been here these past few months just being the Roman champion of the Yeah We Know podcast?
Somebody's got to ride for the chief. It can't be 3 dudes just saying, man, we want Roman to lose. Man, it'd be awesome if Roman would lose. We can't have 3 dudes on here saying that, Chris. Somebody's got to ride for the chief.
That's why he's your boy, Rod.
Okay. So your boy Rod said it is the secondary title and really demeaned that title. And I think Rollins did a good job of trying to get some steam back on that. But the Drew McIntyre-ishness of this, he's not wrong. That's the thing about Reigns. He's not wrong.
See, now you're doing it too, Jimmy. And now you're saying the Drew McIntyre-ishness. I don't understand what Chris has infected this podcast with, Jimmy. We used to have such a good thing going. It was just you and me. And then we brought in this old bald man. And now we're starting to get all this poison flowing through the veins of the Yeah We Know podcast in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris.
Hey, listen, I just appreciate the truth, and Roman Reigns is saying it is a secondary title, which it is a secondary title. It was just created literally out of nowhere. I think that Chris, I like the idea. I like the thought, but here's another thought as well. We still have a Money in the Bank situation that we could do at WrestleMania. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it'll happen before then.
If I have to root against my fandom, Jimmy, I'm going to say it's going to end up being Randy Orton, right? I think he wins Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I could see that, but they've done Seth and Orton before. Orton is the champ. Then what happens Monday after?
I haven't seen
after
that.
Orton.
I haven't seen that. Something I haven't seen. All right.
One of the best finishes in WrestleMania history, actually, when Rollins went for the curb stomp, got thrown up, RKO'd out of nowhere. Let's go, Rod. Let's go.
It definitely is one of Orton's best RKOs. And here's the thing. I have nothing but love for Randy Orton. Okay. I mean, Jimmy,
Sure.
there's audio evidence of this very podcast when I used to sing the
Big
praises
fan.
of RK Bro. One of
Yes.
our previews has me even shouting, Randy. So I'm nothing but a fan. But you have to give me some sort of a runway that I will then buy when you're going to birth Randy Orton into the air as the champion, right? And they've done nothing of that, right? Basically, he's just, hey, everybody, he's back, and we're throwing him into these matches because he's got status. He's essentially AJ Styles for SmackDown, right? That's essentially what he's doing right now. He's a guy who has a big name, who they know can bring out, who then the announcers are going to say, wouldn't it be a huge win if they could get a victory over Randy Orton? or Randy Orton looking to try to reestablish himself on the road back to the top, right? He's the perfect guy for that, but I don't see a belt in his near future, Chris.
He hasn't lost yet. Like that
true.
scenario
That's the one
hasn't
big
happened.
difference. That's a big difference between he and AJ Styles.
He is not losing. AJ Styles is marched out there to lose. You guys and I agreed he was the one to get pinned at the last premium live event. Like we knew it was going to be AJ Styles getting pinned. It was just a matter of if you believe Roman would again or not.
So Raw last night was Raw is talking segments. Raw last night was kind of a throwback to the Vince McMahon Raws where you had about 16 different segments. This was important to get the storylines moving toward WrestleMania. However, you could tell by the in-house audience that they weren't into it as much as they could have been after so many long talking segments. But we did, like I said, it was a good show overall. I think we need to talk about a few things. I want to talk about this Nia Jax, Becky Lynch kind of fiasco. Nia coming down crying, saying, hey, by the way, when Becky Lynch said, I got to explain to my daughter why daddy wants to fight Moana guy or whatever his name is.
That was excellent.
That is comedy, and that was not given enough praise. Everyone should have stood up and clapped for that one, right, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, when you're going to get instant, like, pop culture reference dig at somebody who's coming after your husband, claiming he's second rate, that's a great dig. Great. On many levels. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and then Rhea Ripley's such a star. I tell you, she's amazing. She comes down, kind of cleans house a little bit with Nia, says you're going to have to kill me to beat me. And then, of course, the stare down with Becky Lynch. It's weird because I'm a little scared. They've got to do Becky and Rhea. They have to. But in the back of my mind, Rod, it's like Nia beat Becky straight up. We've got all that history with them, the broken nose. Do they want to do that at WrestleMania instead of the Rhea? Please talk me off this ledge, because if we have Nia Jax and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania,
it's going to be better if one of those two have the belt in that scenario after WrestleMania, right? If Becky and Rhea go in to WrestleMania, Becky wins that belt. You have a situation where Rhea has beat Nia Jax at Elimination Chamber and then lose to Becky, even though Nia beat Becky. So now you have a feud between Becky and Nia going further on, leading to next year's WrestleMania.
One thing to watch, though, and Rock can back me up on this a little bit, Chris, we're not going to see every single title change hands at WrestleMania. We will not see that. So you've got a Bayley matchup. This is Bayley's WrestleMania moment. You would think that Bayley would win that.
Yeah.
You would think that Rhea, is it time to take the belt off of Rhea? I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe you keep going with that.
No.
Roman has to lose
that's where you're
to
wrong.
Cody Rhodes on night 2. Rod, you watch your mouth. He has to lose. I have never said this before. Never say it again. He has got to lose. There's no way and then, Seth Rollins, he could still be hurt. So we got to see what's going on. But not all 4 of those championships, Rod, are going to change hands.
No, but the tag team belts could easily change hands. Chris, I wanted to bring this up earlier and I forgot and apologize, but your guy LA Knight, I'd actually like to see LA Knight taking on Logan Paul at
100%.
WrestleMania and getting the US championship belt around his waist. I'd like to see him start there. And I just also think LA Knight, Logan Paul, 2 dudes great on a microphone. And guess what else it does for LA Knight is it raises his Q level a little bit, right? Because he's not necessarily a guy that a lot of casual wrestling fans understand, right? Like I was at a bar earlier today because I had to stop in and wait on something. The bartender had an LA Knight hoodie on. I gave him a shout out. Hey man, love your hoodie. And he's like, whoa, a wrestling fan in the wild. You know who LA Knight is, right? But Stone Cold.
What did you say?
Rock.
You better said, yeah.
Well, of course I did, but
okay.
I didn't want to say that, right? I didn't want to give it away. But anyway, if you have a Logan Paul in that fight with LA Knight before WrestleMania, he's going to have to go on impulsive, right? Logan's going to be cutting promos against him on Instagram. I don't know why I just pronounced it that way. But it will help
Instagram.
Yeah, it will help LA Knight to fight with Logan Paul, I believe, Chris, before he becomes Intercontinental Champion.
Listen, I don't disagree with that. Here's one thing, too, that you guys made me nervous about when you talked about a heel coming out of Elimination Chamber for Rollins to go up against. Could that end up being Logan Paul?
It could be. Listen, it could be if they want this to be the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and Logan Paul is trying to go champion and champion double title. Yes, they are gonna get a lot more of the TikTok, the Instagram, and all that fun stuff. They're gonna get a lot more social media interaction and engagement with that
I would
if they
think
choose
so.
to go that way. Yeah, they
That
could easily do that.
would generate a lot of heat, at least from someone like me who would absolutely hate that idea.
Speaking of ideas here, we have the Judgment Day next week are going to go against a terrific foursome. We've got The Miz, we've got DIY, and we've got R-Truth, who has officially been kicked out of the Judgment Day. Again, kind of, maybe.
Yeah, no, Jimmy, I believe it states in the Judgment Day bylaws that if you get punched in the face by Damian Priest, you're officially out of the Judgment Day. I believe that's what it is.
So
And,
he
like,
is out then.
yeah. Everybody
sure.
else can like yell at you and like fight you the way that all the other Judgment Day members did. And Damian Priest, if he just stands off to the side and tries to be bigger than all of it, you're still in the Judgment Day by a loophole. But the minute he hits you in the face, you're out.
And we all know that Dominic is 100% going to be in that Elimination Chamber, and he's not going to win, but it could be a bad WrestleMania weekend for the Judgment Day. Also could be a good one because just again, remember Damian Priest still has that briefcase.
Rod, Jimmy just called for Dominique Mysterio to beat his boy KO.
That's happening
on SmackDown.
That's 100% happening. Yes, that's happening. He's going to beat. You got to have some bad guys in Australia. You really do. You know, you got to have somebody.
You don't want to make Bronson Reed the only bad guy, considering that's his neck of the woods. So
and he's going to get cheered. And well, hey, he's not in it though. He got beat.
That's true.
He could be in one of those like battle royal things that they're going to do for the women. They could have one of those as well, a second chance battle royal. But you would think Bronson
battle royal. You know who'd be a favorite in the battle royal if he wasn't already in the Elimination Chamber, and that would be Bob Lashley, winner of the Andre the Giant battle royal.
Yes, and all of the great accolades that came from that. Our boy, Mr. Yeet himself is going to get himself an Intercontinental Championship match after the Jey Uso and the New Day beat Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci in a 6-man tag. Interesting match there that Gunther wasn't really coming in a little bit. I didn't catch too much of this. What did you think overall, Rod?
I'm bummed out, man. I'm bummed out that this match with Jay's happening on TV because we know that absolutely nothing's happening from it then. You know what I mean? Like there's a world you could convince me that Jey Uso deserves the Intercontinental belt, right? Like,
sure,
Gunther is an all-time wonderful champion, but like Jay's got a bunch of heat, man, and he's such a good wrestler. Just such a good wrestler, man. The guy sells moves. The guy every super kick he does, no matter how many times he does one, they all look like they just devastated and broke your jaw. You know what I mean? Like they lose their effectiveness by the time he does the 16th in a match. But each time he does it, I'll be damned if it isn't almost perfect. So I love me some Jey Uso. So I was bummed to see that it was on TV. I'd like to see it maybe be a non-finish, and then saying that Jay's got to get another shot somewhere. Then my interest might peak because I'll be like, where are we going there?
Okay, it could be. I still think they're setting him up for Braun Breaker at WrestleMania. I think that's going to get Raw
backstage a lot.
I think that's going to get Raw to get him signed for that championship match at WrestleMania. He's the right one to do it. He is. But Chris, if you're Jey Uso, okay, again, it's the Yeah We Know podcast. Yeah, we know it's scripted. Yeah, we know it's their job. So everyone calm down, okay? But if you are at any job you have and you're doing the best you can, and you're actually doing the best you've ever done, and you've been doing this for a long time, it's got to be a little disheartening, Chris, if you're Jey Uso saying, I'm always going to be that tag team wrestler. I don't know if I'm ever going to get put up to that any type of single championship.
I mean, it's the WWE. This happens a lot, right? Yeah. You have guys that are doing the best they've ever done in their entire career when they put 20 years into it. And sometimes you just have a guy like a Roman Reigns that holds on to a belt for 3 years, or a Gunther who holds on to a belt for 2.5 years, or a brand new belt that has one owner since it's been brought into, so like it's the WWE is in the situation where they have great talent that can't get a belt because they're not changing hands. I remember a time, Jimmy, when some of these belts could actually have changes and change hands during Raw
there
or
was a time.
SmackDown.
Yeah,
There
that's
was a
crazy
time.
though, dude. When you were like
Yeah.
40, Bruno Sammartino had been champion for most of your lifetime. So I mean, you've lived through all the different eras, Chris.
I'm
I
just
do like that.
saying.
I do like that because it's kind of like if you're in the NFL right now and you've got Patrick Mahomes, you've got a lot of great teams. You got Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Ewing sitting at home with no rings because Michael Jordan is there. I mean, it does happen. And by the way, if you're interested in sports, we also have a sports podcast, Balls and Brew, that usually goes live on Thursdays. We'll see what happens after the NFL season, I guess. But it will go live this Thursday once again. And yeah, I like that. I like that, Chris. I just for Jey Uso, I feel bad. For
Here's
someone
what
who
I just had this
yeah,
thought, Jimmy. Let's stay with this for
sure.
1 second.
Yeah.
I like when we can dive into that other part of wrestling for the fans that are choosing in and focus on the entertainment part here, right, Jim? And what I mean by that is we know a lot of people that are incredibly talented musicians, right? We know of a lot of people who are incredibly talented actors, right? And like,
Yeah.
no matter what casting director you put them in front of, one casting director might say, yeah, man, I know, but it's just not you. You know what I mean? And we have to remember this is sports entertainment. So a guy like Jey Uso, people just didn't buy him an awful lot early in his career. You know what I mean? And then he's had to be a bad guy so often, right? Like that's a rough look. Being the number one right-hand man and just always being the guy that pisses somebody like Chris off and continues to keep roaming the belt. It's a tough look. You know what I mean?
It is.
And then you get to the point where everybody likes you because you've been around forever, right? You're like a warm blanket to them. They're like, oh, Jey Uso, we love Jey Uso. You know what I mean? But then you're already kind of locked into not being the leading man. You're just a character actor. So if you're Jey Uso, you're kind of bummed out. I see what you're saying, Jimmy. You're like, damn, I'm like, I could get an Academy Award as a supporting actor. You know what I mean? Which is great. Yep. But I'm never going to be Leonardo DiCaprio leading Titanic. I don't know why I went all the way back to Titanic. But
and by the way, Jey Uso did main event to WrestleMania. So there's that.
As a tag team.
As a tag team. So, you've got that as well. Main event was kind of weird. It was Sami Zayn against Shinsuke Nakamura, and it was based on an interview that Sami Zayn was giving, and then all of a sudden Nakamura came up on. This is like before it started.
So are we supposed to believe that Shinsuke can hear all interviews, or that he's just listening to Sami Zayn?
He is listening to everyone at every time. This was kind of a nice a shout out back to when Shinsuke Nakamura debuted in the WWE, and they even mentioned it. Thank goodness they're mentioning stuff that happened in the past, and it was against Sami Zayn, and that was a really cool moment. If you have not seen it, Chris, I highly recommend NXT Takeover. I think Brooklyn, maybe, but it was Nakamura's debut, and people were doing the holy S stuff. This is, I don't want to edit it. The holy S stuff during his entrance music. So that was pretty cool.
I will say to Rod's point about Shinsuke being able to hear all interviews. If Sammy wants to not be heard during an interview, don't do an open arena where you can be seen and heard by everybody. There was literally no privacy. The last 2 interviews Sammy's done has been in an empty arena where
maybe Jackie Redmond comes from NHL, right? She used to do a little NHL work before she came over to the WWE, done a lot of other sports reporting. Perhaps she just feels most at home in arena seats, Chris. Maybe it's not even their choice. Maybe Jackie Redmond says, you guys got to do it here.
So she's a plant from Shinsuke. That's how he's getting all this intel.
Well, he does wear red. Her name is Redmond. I don't know, Chris. You're the conspiracy guy.
Speaking of conspiracies, Drew McIntyre runs down and causes Sami Zayn to get that loss. Sami Zayn on a losing streak here. Is Sami Zayn going to go heel maybe, or are they just setting him up for a McIntyre-Zayn match at WrestleMania or somewhere else down the line? I think if we see a McIntyre-Zayn match in the next couple of weeks, I think we're pretty clear that McIntyre is going to win. at Elimination Chamber. But Cody Rhodes comes down. Cody Rhodes comes down and helps his boy out, which was really nice. So I guess Sami Zayn could be somebody else that could tag with Cody Rhodes. Why not, right?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one yet. I think I like your first scenario a little bit more because we always kind of got to have that match at WrestleMania that's just like a tactician match, right?
Yes.
So that the real wrestling nerds, the real Meltzer heads, you know what I mean, can get a hold of one out there. And so when you're going to see Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn going at it, you're going to have a real well wrestled match. Even though I guess Drew's more of a banger than he is a tactician, but you know he can still wrestle his ass off.
He can do it, and that's a good second, third match on the card because you got some popular people in there for sure.
What's the long-term story arc for Sami Zayn?
Well,
I mean,
hasn't.
I feel like they've lost any kind of traction that he had.
They have, yes, 100%.
From last year. So that's my thought process with him. You know, I loved him last year when he left the bloodline and was going through his story, had a shot at the title. I was happy. Now and it has nothing to do with his feud with Drew. I'm not that interested in what he's doing. It seems like instead of it being a fun, happy type dude, now he's just all dark and serious, Sammy.
Well, and that's the transition, I think,
the H word
being down to then being a heel. I mean, I think that's
he's really good as a heel too, Chris. He's really good as a heel. You know, I mean, I don't necessarily want to see him go back to like that crazy, kooky, zany, like, you know, I'm believing in all conspiracies. You know, the WWE's against me. I'm not sure how well that gimmick worked, right?
Yeah, that Bobby Lashley feud was awesome. Let me tell you, that was
yeah, exactly. So, but I still think a lot of that energy can still be applied. You know what I mean? And remember about Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville, right? Like that was a match that ended up being way better and a feud that ended up being way better than it had any excuse to be. So Sami Zayn's one of those guys that can elevate material. So I'd like to see them give him something, but you guys are right. They've dropped the ball with him. And where do you go? You know what I mean? Where do you go with the scrappy underdog who gets to the top and then just doesn't make it? You know, we said the same thing with LA Knight. That's why it's good to see that maybe he's going to rebound a little.
Well, we were saying the same thing about Jey Uso kind of too.
Yeah. Well, you can't write everyone to be the champion. There have to be bit players, even if bit players are, and please don't take that the wrong way. Everyone is
not everybody can be the champion when there's only 3 champions and they never change those belts.
And for those of you watching here, if you have any questions, comments, please put it in before we exit here. Looking forward to the Elimination Chamber. Are we getting up at 4 a.m. to watch this live? Right, live stream 4 a.m. Right? No,
I don't believe I'll be catching this one live. No.
Okay. Yeah. Neither will I. And that's gotta be, I love that they're doing it because obviously they're getting a lot of money from Australia to go do it. And that's number one. It's going to be in a huge stadium. I don't think anything major is going to happen. I really don't. Obviously, we're going to have the number one contender come out of it. That's fine. But I really don't see Rhea losing at all here.
They'd burn the place down if she lost. Are you kidding me? To Nia Jax in her home country?
If this was a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have put money down that she was losing.
That's true. I guess that's another one of our famous previews where I was like, Chris, learn your history. Guys always get squashed in their hometown.
They do. So, all right, gentlemen. Well, I really appreciate you as always. And with that, you have been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the Morgan Knows Podcasting Network. In the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod.
Jimmy did say it there. All right. You love our sports takes. The NFL's winding down, but we still got plenty of good stuff for you over on Balls and Brew. All right. Jimmy, Chris, and I, we really like the round ball. Our guy Dax, who's been to more Pacer games than anybody who's not a season ticket holder. We had him on a couple of weeks back. He's good talking basketball. You never know. Maybe we could throw a little lifeline out there to our favorite NBA guest, Father Pete. You never know what's going to happen over on the Balls and Brew NBA side. So make sure you keep checking in with our basketball thoughts as well as the great wrestling thoughts here. Don't just come around to make fun of Chris. Come around to get good points about sports.
Goodbye, net. Yeah.